I got approved for almost $1 million worth of a mortgage. There's no way in hell I'm buying $1 million worth of a house. I wanted $100,000 worth of credit. Your business credit is going to be run off of your personal credit. Hey folks, how are you? Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. Frustrated and out on a walk today. Super frustrated. So you guys know that I've been looking for business funding. In my previous videos, I talked about, applying and trying to get more business credit. Growing your business credit as a small business owner, it's essential that you have access to credit and capital. And I'm so disgusted at what a scam the economy is in relation to getting funding as a small business. I applied for a line of credit or a credit card with one of my banks, and let me be clear, I have many business credit cards with banks. But the issue is the banks will only give you a certain amount of credit, and what they want to see is that you are spending nearly all of the limit of that credit card. So if I have a $20,000 credit card, they'll only give me an extension if I'm spending $20,000 per month, not $20,000 in a year, in 2, 3 months. They want to see that you're actually spending way more, near up to the max of that credit, so they can extend more credit for you, regardless of your business income. The frustrating part is when I apply for a mortgage, which I have, my wife and I, we have applied for mortgages as we are looking at, what our payments would be in the mortgage market, buying a home, what it would cost. We're taking the time because our lease is not up until April. If we are going to buy, we want to be in a position where we're looking at houses, how they trend, what the real values are, and making sure that we're not caught in a downturn of a market or a market correction, as most sensible people would do. And I asked the business, credit person in my bank, and I asked her, I said, well, I wanted $100,000 worth of credit. And you would say, well, Phil, why do you need $100,000 worth of credit? Well, I'm looking to transition Ancestry Lands away from the actual land, just vacant land ownership, to actually buying, brick and mortar homes or even building on actual properties. And the only way to do that is to get more capital the same way you would get a personal loan to do the same project similarly. Now, the thing I've talked about before is when you are going for business credit, your business credit is going to be run off of your personal credit. You're still going to have your personal credit attached to your business credit. And when I look conversely at a loan or a mortgage, I'm like, how do I get approved? Like, I got approved for almost $1 million worth of a mortgage. There's no way in hell I'm buying $1 million worth of a house in this kind of market where prices are overinflated. No way in hell I would do that. But again, I qualify. I can go as high as that based on my income, and I do make well over 100,000 per year total income. And the funny thing is that some of my land income is being counted as a reason why I can get and qualify for that amount. My wife brings in about 25,000 plus or minus because of her personal training and staying home with the kids, watching our younger son and taking them out and doing things. So we're saving a lot of money on daycare. I'm just appalled when I asked, how is it I apply for a $100,000 credit card, right? A business credit. Okay, I've been doing business for 6 years. I have P&L statements, which are profit and loss. I have over $100,000 worth of yearly gross income that I make in this business. Okay. They say, well, we can only counter and give you 15,000. I say, wow, that's interesting. And what they're asking is, do I ever have a credit card that I'm spending $80,000 a month on spending and making payments on? I said, well, $80,000 is 80% of my actual near over gross income from my business. And again, that's profit. That's actual gross profit of the business. Now, keep in mind that profit of my business is after all my expenses. That's not gross money afterwards. So how am I supposed to be able to grow as a business, get more capital if I'm not getting extensions on my credit? If I'm not getting credit extensions, conversely, how am I able to be making, let's say, $150,000, $200,000 a year? But I can get $1 million mortgage loan. And her whole thing, and she's like, well, we have to have a guarantee. I was like, but you're running my actual personal credit along with I'm putting in my personal credit because again, most people don't understand that you still now, if you're a small business and you're not $1 million company, everybody's talking about anonymity in Delaware, but your BOI, beneficial owner information, is still attached to anything with your LLC. If you own more than 25% of your company, you have to register your BOI information into the system, beneficial owner information. So there is no anonymity when you have to put a BOI form attached to any loan, any credit, which you have to submit at these banks. The people are not understanding this whole, I want to do Delaware for anonymity purposes. No, no, not with a BOI information. And then once they make that database accessible to the public, which I'm sure for legal terms, banks or anyone else will probably give that information up if you are actually being sued. There is no anonymity. And I'm asking the person, I said, how am I able to get a mortgage that is 10 times worth my actual gross income, but at the same time, I'm asking for a 1-to-1 on credit for business, and I have over, let's just say about $60,000 worth of profit per year, and I'm only looking at a $40,000 gap in between my profit and what I'm asking that's extra. But when I look at a mortgage, I only make $150,000, $200,000 a year, and I'm going to be paying a mortgage that is $1 million mortgage without even the interest being calculated into it, which would bring me up to anywhere between 1.4, 1.5 with the interest attached, depending on what the interest is, over 30 years. So I only make close to 200,000, but I'm going to pay $1.5 million in 30 years. And somehow I can get that approval right away because my credit's great, my wife's credit's great. We don't have a lot of debt, which I don't have a lot of business debt. I'm trying to run and grow a business. And I'm asking myself, how will y'all approve me for $1 million of a mortgage from the same bank, no less? But at the same time, when I'm running a small business, I can't get the same approval, even though you're attaching my credit to the approval of my actual credit score is attached to the approval process with the business. Like, how can small businesses get ahead? Because small businesses must mean that you got to be under $1 million to do this kind of work, like to get these kind of approvals. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What number? Because the small business to me, to be able to do a business on your own as a nurse, I only made about my first year about maybe $45,000 in Ancestry Lands, and I've been growing that steadily over time. And the frustrating part is trying to grow a business from literally scratch without going in and saying. And again, I'm trying to figure out how people go and apply for credit lines on business and get business credit. If I'm trying to go through and I can show years of income, and I'm saying to myself, how in the world are people getting large amounts of credit? They got to be running debt-based businesses. There's no way around it. It's got to be most businesses are not in profit and they're running debt. And it makes you wonder where business profitability is coming from. I'm so frustrated right now, I could scream, but I'm obviously in a park, and nothing's worse than being in a park and being super frustrated. But the level of frustration of trying to become successful, it's beyond me. So I have to start at 15K. I've got to max out my credit card, pay it off in full. And of course, the interest rate is at near 20, 25% APR. So of course, the bank is interested in making their money. And again, I'm like, well, how can I grow as a business owner? How can I move to the next step? How can I get the proper funding if literally there's no requirement for you to be a good faith lender? And I've been a client for them for well over 10 to 15 years. The business banking relationship, that my personal who I am is not reflected when I'm running a business, but at the same time, they're willing to do business with me on one side of the coin, but on tails, I've got to go a lot shorter. And it just makes you wonder, like with companies like big companies like BlackRock and other companies that are out there, it seems like it's more investor funded, and that's where the big money's coming from, but it's not coming from banks. Banks will only give them loans on the later end once they're using maybe shareholder ownership or stock portfolios, or they're selling off stock, or using what Elon Musk does with, using stock as leverage for the banks to be able to say, hey, we'll give you $1 million a loan for them to go out there and make more money. But it's not really for small business lending. It's really for small business lending, and we'll say small business is anything under 1 million. Or we're willing to lend enough so that way we can guarantee we make our money back, but we can't get you to the next point. Maybe I've got it all wrong. I don't know. But I mean, just the level of I'm like, so I now have to spend $15K a month. And if I did that, that would be $150,000 worth of spending. Then I would have to show a profit and loss statement showing that I'm literally running a debt-based business. I don't know this new thing with the world where everybody wants to take on debt. Like, we've just become accustomed to that. Debt is good. Owing somebody in life is always good. Literally, someone who has a debt over you, they have a master. It's a master over you, the mastership over you. Like, literally, they could call in a debt at any time. They literally have control over a portion of your ability to be financially free. Like, and I'm not saying like you borrow money to pay back in good faith and you're going to make payments and you're going to do right. But I'm talking about just naturally taking on debt to the point where you're taking on the debt and you have no ability to pay it back. I mean, we see that in the economy and the environment every day, where people are just taking on debt to get them through, to go to vacations, and there's no way to pay it back. There's no way to be financially disciplined, financially astute. And then we wonder why the economies of the world are the way they are right now. I mean, showing profitability is no longer like an issue. Like, everyone has it in their mind that we're not going to show any profit or the ability for this business to make money, and somehow someone's supposed to buy that. And I'm saying to myself, like, how, why? And my wonder is, it's no wonder these businesses are going out, filing out of bankruptcy. You see Hugo Boss filing for bankruptcy. You see tons of businesses now starting to file for bankruptcy, and people are still not getting it. Everybody wants to play the debt game, and the debt game means that the debt has to be paid at some point. The debt has to be called in at some point. You have to pay your debts back. There is no way out of that. Everyone's willing to take on massive amounts of credit that they have no way of paying back, but I have the income to pay it back. I have the money saved to pay it back. I have the money in my accounts to pay it back, which no doubt they're running. Every step, every turn I take to try to get ahead in life, every turn I take to try to move a little bit forward, it seems like I'm getting pushed back 2 more steps. It seems like the old adage of doing the right thing in life, it doesn't work out. I see people around me getting ahead, and it looks like everyone's using a cheat code to get ahead in life, and no one's actually doing the work, doing the hard work. Or maybe it's just me, man. Maybe sometimes when you're feeling negative, you can't see that there are other people running lateral to you. But I just don't understand that what are small businesses supposed to do when they can't go to their banks for help? And I mean, again, I could see if I had a 400 credit score. I could see if I had a 500 credit score. I could see if I didn't have the income or assets for them to seize. And I'm like, you're my damn bank. Like, I've been banking with you. You're using money that I have saved in accounts, making interest hand over fist, and you're not here for your small businesses, for your actual clients. I do all my business with you. You got no problem giving me a mortgage for $1 million. I mean, that's great to hear, to know that I qualify for that. And I live in an area where that would buy you basically a 4-bedroom home, a modest 4-bedroom home. And that looks nice on paper. It looks nice if I showed you a video of a house that I bought for $1 million and I'm potentially a millionaire on paper, and that looks good for showing that. But the truth is, I'm like everybody else. I'm just trying to make it, man. I'm trying to provide for my kids. I'm trying to keep my wife happy, if that's even a thing, which I don't feel is even a thing that's accomplishable. I'm trying to make sure my kids have a legacy. I'm trying to do things the right way, and I'm not trying to be a burden on the system. I'm trying to be a contributor to the system, but the system seems like what it wants is more wage slaves, more debt slaves that can keep paying into the system without actually showing prosperity. And what's the world come to it when the world doesn't want to promote prosperity, but wants to promote prosperity through the enslavement or the indebtedness of others? I mean, how can America really be prosperous if we're running trillions of dollars of debt? Like, where's the prosperity in that? Does it look like things are prosperous around you? Does it look like the food prices are prosperous where you can buy more? No, it doesn't. It just looks prosperous. Even the companies now with the tariffs, they're getting hit so hard that they got to push on the price to customers and lose the customer base because of tariffs, because of the way the indebtedness and prosperity is not there. Forget the lower income people that are struggling. What about the people in the middle that are struggling? What about the people that are not trying to get down into the lower echelons of society? I'm not shitting on lower people, lower income people, but I'm talking about the people who are trying to stay out of there so that way social services can go to people who truly need it. But the people in the middle need help too as well, and we've just forgotten about them. We've forgotten about the mom and pop small business owners, and what we're doing is going to corporations where now the corporate entities are pushing the prices down onto people like myself and people who actually are getting off the Section 8 and all the what is that, the WIC program or the SNAP program. And then what ends up happening now, you've got technocrats and investor money going into just taking over more and more of the economy, not allowing businesses to thrive, so then no one thrives. You only have the people at the top who thrives. And again, I'm looking at the people in the small business. Where is the small business lending? Now, banks got small business lending, and they say small business, but small business, they talk about really a mill, just under a mill, probably 600,000 to 700,000 to a mill. What small business do you know around here that you could walk and talk to an owner, that you could see an actual owner and say, this is a person not in some corporate office that, you know, like at a rental company where you see the people who own the business are in a corporate office somewhere and they got multiple locations. It's not a small business. You got entrepreneurs around this country trying to make it, trying to be back into what the old adage of really make America great by doing hard work and being an entrepreneur and growing a business that can be profitable. And banks make it near damn impossible for you to get the funding to do it. I don't know, folks. I got to continue on my walk. I want to take a short break because, I mean, and again, I've got to walk around. My wife will ask me later on, what's bothering you? What's wrong? I got to put a smile on my face and pretend that everything is right. And yeah, I've got the 15K. You could say that's the start, and I got to work up there, and I'll do that. But again, sometimes you need a bigger win to get yourself in position to be able to buy things. There's really very little real estate I'll be able to go in and buy for 15,000. And then again, the bank loves it because now I've got to pay them back the interest on that 15,000, which if I can't pay it back all at once, well then I'm now making payments, paying them more interest. So that way they can get their greedy hands on more money. And that's how it works. The banking scam. Get you into more debt to make them richer, and then they get the guarantees from the government. If you don't pay back on your mortgages, they get the guarantees back on that end, and the next thing you know, what ends up happening, they make more money, and then they go back out there and sell your home when you can't pay off on that $1.5 million mortgage. They go back out there and sell it to someone else and write off the debt, and then they get more money. Just like they've gotten bailed out in the last one with the taxpayer money. Heck, where's the bank that owes me on that, right? My tax dollars went to help bail y'all out. Where's my bailout? Where's my business bailout, what I'm looking for? Where's the repayment back on that? Chase Bank, Wells Fargo Bank. Where's the repayment on that? When y'all got bailed out in the financial crisis. Where's my taxpayer money repayment back to me where you're still taxing me, right? Why are my interest rates dropped down lower when you all got to bail out? Instead of failing, where's my taxpayer money coming back out, huh? I mean, I worked the whole time, paid into the tax system, and now I'm asking for something back. And again, now the banks are telling me, no, we got to charge you more interest, you know? And I got good credit. Got great credit, excellent credit, exceptional credit. But that's the system. And you get again, man, you know, people like this, man, they'll take on debt. They'll take on all the debt in the world just to keep up with the Joneses, man. Frustrated today, obviously. But you know what? Many people, they quit. What separates the real from the fake is being able to press on. Being able to continue on and get strong and keep through. Not being defeatist. Not losing in the fight. But you know what? I'll have family members, man. They'll sit there and tell me how I think I'm all of that. But again, this part, no problem. They ain't got nothing for me on this one. Nothing. They don't see the struggle. They don't see what I'm trying to accomplish. Think somebody's going to come in and say, hey, man, let me get your back. Let me get behind you. Nah. I got too many adversaries to say they love me. That's the problem. So-called people that are in your corner, but then they're not in your corner because, again, you're trying to get out in the world. You're trying to do something greater than their own selfishness. But, again, too damn selfish for that, man. Like, share, subscribe. I don't care, man. Peace. You can go to ancestrylands.com to start owning property today. With payments starting at $250 per month and no credit checks, owning land has never been easier. It's time to build your land portfolio, one property at a time. We help you get dollars from dirt and build generational wealth via small plots of affordable vacant land. Contact us to learn more. Speaking of dollars from dirt, I also wrote a book about investing in land for you readers out there. My book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, is available on Amazon. The link is in the description section below. Inside, you'll learn simple, easy-to-read insights that will have you understanding why you should own land today. For more tips and resources, subscribe for updates, comment below whether you're Team Greenhouse or Team Hoop House. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
And remember, like and subscribe.